the Republic, Lieutenant General Musikidi. We have also Honorable Premier, as part of this media briefing, the Provincial Commissioner of Free State, Lieutenant General Lesia, the HOD for Community Safety in the province, Mema Zibuko, the Acting Division Commissioner of Human Resource Management, Mayor General Governor, together with the Acting Division Commissioner for Detectives, Major General Mohali. At this point in time, I do want to also extend our greetings to all the district commissioners from Mpumalanga province, the provincial management of Mpumalanga province, the representatives from organized labor. We saw leadership of Pope and SAPO, they are with us in this media briefing. Ladies and gentlemen, members of the media, let me take this opportunity and welcome everybody to this important occasion in Mpumalanga, where the provincial government, together with the SAPS, are announcing the newly appointed provincial commissioner for the province. My name is Major General Nonguleko Pogane, and I will be directing the proceedings for this afternoon. Honorable Premier, we have been traveling with the Acting National Commissioner. This is the 4th province. We went to the Western Cape on Wednesday for the appointment of the Provincial Commissioner. Yesterday we went to Northwest for the same process of the appointment of the Provincial Commissioner for Northwest. This morning we were in Limpopo with the Premier there, Dr. Ramatupa, to deliver the newly appointed Provincial Commissioner. And this afternoon we are now in Mpumalanga. We are concluding this very important project of the SAPS for newly appointed Provincial Commissioners in the different provinces. And this one we are concluding it in the place of the rising sun. Probably there's a reason for that, Honorable Premier. We trust God. At this point in time, our program is very short because it is the media briefing. We are going to be receiving the official address for this occasion from the Acting National Commissioner of the SAPS, who will introduce the newly appointed Provincial Commissioner. Immediately after that, the Premier of the province and the Acting National Commissioner will move to that banner over there, the one on the side of the room, together with the newly appointed Provincial Commissioner to confer the ranks. So the conferring of the ranks will then be in that spot designated in that corner. Thereafter, the Premier will then ascend the podium to give the remarks from provincial government as the Premier of the province. Immediately after that, we'll then be affording the opportunity to the newly appointed Provincial Commissioner from Mpumalanga to then address the media conference as well. So that is how our program is going to unfold, and allow me then at this point in time to take this opportunity and respectfully call the Acting National Commissioner of the SAPS, Lieutenant General Dimbane, to take the podium and address the media briefing. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. General, the microphones are the ones, the media, they just said they are looking at our podium. They feel it's very much in the corner, so I'll move this one to where the other microphones are, just so that there's seamless movement from the audio.
Thank you very much to the Program Director, Mr. General Kani, to the Honorable Premier of Mpumalanga, Mr. Mandal Gofi, Honorable MEC for Community Safety, Security and Liaison, Mr. Masia, the Deputy National Commissioner for Policing, Lieutenant General T.C. Musikidi, Additional Commissioners who are present here today, Acting Provincial Commissioner, Major General Dr. Zeb Kapanazi, provincial and district management, representatives from organized labor, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Today marks the culmination of an important chapter in strengthening provincial leadership in the South African Police Service. Over the past 2 days, we have announced the appointment of 4 provincial commissioners in the provinces of Western Cape, Northwest, Limpopo, and now we are here in Mpumalanga. Each appointment has been strategic and significant in advancing our organizational renewal program. It is therefore fitting that this important process concludes here in Mpumalanga, saving what many would regard as the best for last. There is added symbolism in this moment as we gather on the eve of Women's Month to announce the appointment of a distinguished woman commander who will lead policing in this province. This appointment affirms not only the South African Police Service's unwavering commitment to excellence in leadership, but also our continued contribution to the advancement and emancipation of women in positions of authority and decision-making. This occasion is equally about continuity, stability, and renewal. Today, the baton is formally handed over from a general who has led this province with unwavering commitment in an acting capacity for the past 3 years, to another accomplished and dynamic general entrusted with taking policing in Mpumalanga to even greater heights. Leadership transitions of this nature are a hallmark of strong institutions. They demonstrate that the strength of the South African Police Service lies not only in individuals, but in its ability to preserve stability, sustain operational momentum, and continuously advance its constitutional mandate through capable and principled leadership. The past 2 days have also demonstrated the strength of corporate governance and reaffirmed the value of genuine partnership across the 3 spheres of government. The appointment of provincial commissioners is in itself a practical expression of this constitutional partnership. While the South African Police Service remains a national competence, the Constitution equally recognizes the important oversight and collaborative role of provincial governments in ensuring that policing remains responsive to the unique safety and security needs of every province. It further recognizes that the success of policing is ultimately measured where policing matters most, province by province, district by district, police station by police station, and most importantly, community by community. Members of the media, today we reaffirm that leadership appointments within the SAPS must inspire confidence, must strengthen governance and accelerate service delivery. We must place the right leaders in the right environments at the right time to respond decisively to the changing crime landscape confronting our nation. This appointment that we are going to announce here today followed a rigorous, transparent and consultative process in full compliance with the constitutional and legislative prescripts governing the appointment of provincial commissioners. Extensive consultations were undertaken with all the relevant authority. The process was aimed at appointing a provincial commissioner who possesses the operational credibility and leadership maturity to champion the implementation of the SAPS reset agenda while driving policing that delivers measurable outcomes for the people of this province. Premier, Mpumalanga occupies a strategic position as South Africa's gateway to regional trade, sharing borders with Mozambique and Eswatini, while linking key economic corridors with Gauteng and KwaZulu-Natal. As the country's premier tourism destination, its economic and environmental assets demands policing that is intelligence-led, that is agile, and that is uncompromising. The province continues to be confronted with violent crime, organized criminality, illicit trafficking, illegal immigration, and illicit mining, particularly around Pilgrim's Rest and Marathon, all of which threaten economic growth, tourism, and public confidence in the rule of law. Therefore, The newly appointed Provincial Commissioner assumes command of policing across 90 police stations in the districts of Ehlanzeni, Gerk, Sibande and Nkangala. She takes the helm at a critical time with a clear mandate to strengthen operational excellence, enhance detective and intelligence capabilities, to reinforce leadership, accountability, as well as deepen partnerships with communities through decisive and strategic leadership. But before we proceed with today's appointment, allow me to recognize a remarkable police leader whose contribution to this province will remain entrenched in the history of the South African Police Service. Major General Dr. Zep Mkwanazi has carried the enormous responsibility of acting Provincial Commissioner for 3 years with distinction, discipline and unwavering commitment. General Mkwanazi provided leadership during a period that demanded resilience, stability and operational consistency. Under his stewardship, Mpumalanga remained focused on crime fighting while maintaining organizational stability during an important period of transition. Today also, Premier marks a deeply significant milestone as General Mkwanazi concludes an extraordinary policing career spanning 4 decades of a dedicated service to the people of South Africa. General Mkwanazi, you gave Mpumalanga your best. Your footprint of operational excellence is very much visible, and your contribution to leadership stability is highly recognized. You literally kept your boots on until your last day in uniform. On behalf of the leadership of the South African Police Service and the people of South Africa, we thank you for your service par excellence. Ladies and gentlemen, today the baton of policing in the province of the Rising Sun passes into the capable hands of a distinguished female commander, a veteran detective specialist, a seasoned operational leader, a rare combination within the senior leadership of the South African Police Service. She represents the finest traditions of professional policing, combining extensive high-end detective expertise with sound operational command experience developed over decades of dedicated service. It therefore gives me a great pleasure to formally introduce the newly appointed Provincial Commissioner for Mpumalanga, Lieutenant General Nkapwane Apathia Modise, training at Hammanskraal Police Academy. She steadily rose through every level of policing, gaining practical experience from the ground. She served communities as a constable at community service centers before pursuing a passion for detective work within the family violence, child protection, and sexual offences units. There, she dedicated herself to protecting women, children and society's most vulnerable citizens while developing specialized investigative expertise that would define much of her distinguished career. Her policing journey reflects consistent excellence. She served successfully as a station commander in Senekal and in Odendal's Rest before being promoted to a brigadier in 2012 as a cluster commander in the Mukaka cluster. In 2016, she was promoted to Major General, leading both the Tabon and Velcom clusters. In 2020, she assumed the strategic responsibility of a Deputy Provincial Commissioner responsible for crime detection in the Free State, where she served with distinction until her appointment as a Provincial Commissioner of Mpumalanga. Academically, Lieutenant General Modise holds a National Diploma in Policing and a Bachelor of Arts degree in Public Administration. The qualifications complement an impressive body of operational experience founded on professionalism, discipline, integrity, as well as service excellence. Lieutenant General Modise arrives in Mpumalanga at a critical time. She brings something exceptionally valuable to this province. She brings the mind of an investigator, the discipline of an operational commander, the compassion of an officer who has dedicated much of her career to protecting victims, and the leadership maturity required to build a modern, ethical, and professional police service. Her extensive experience within the FCS environment uniquely positions Mpumalanga to strengthening its response to gender-based violence and femicide. One of the central priorities for the SAP's research agenda is improving victim-centered policing while restoring public confidence through professionalism, accountability, and quality investigation. There is no doubt that Lieutenant General Mudise's specialist will significantly strengthen these priorities. Her appointment is not simply symbolic. It is strategic and transformational. It signals our commitment to placing competence, operational excellence, and ethical leadership at the center of policing. Under her leadership, we expect Mpumalanga to continue driving reforms that institutionalize professionalism, accountability, integrity, and consequence management, while strengthening crime detection, improving conviction rate in investigations, as well as deepening partnerships with communities. General Mudise, today you assume command, not merely of a province, but of hopes and expectations of millions of residents who deserve safer communities. Lead with courage, lead with integrity, lead with humility and decisiveness. Remain close to your members and close to communities, and remain uncompromising against corruption as well as criminality. Protect the economic heartbeat of this province, and above all, lead in a manner that restores public confidence in the badge we proudly wear. In conclusion, Premier, ladies and gentlemen, allow me to express our sincere appreciation to the Honorable Premier, Mr. Mandla Ndlovu, the Provincial Executive, as well as the Honorable NEC, Mr. Masia, for the confidence, partnership, and unwavering support demonstrated throughout this appointment process. Your commitment to strengthening policing and advancing the integrated crime and violence prevention strategy reflects a shared understanding that safer communities cannot be achieved by policing alone, but through a united, coordinated, and integrated government response. Together, Premier, we will continue to strengthen public trust, protect the economic future of Mpumalanga, and build a police service that will remain professional, accountable, ethical, and responsive to the people we are privileged to serve. I thank you.
Thank you very much, Acting National Commissioner, for the address. And once again, ladies and gentlemen, if you may, just another round of applause for the Province Lieutenant General Modise. At this point in time, I will then request the Honorable Premier and the Acting National Commissioner with the newly appointed Provincial Commissioner to then move to that space that I pointed to earlier, the conferring of the ranks to the newly appointed Provincial Commissioner. Thank you very much. Another round of applause. Thank you very much, Honorable Premier, and the Acting National Commissioner, and also to the newly appointed Provincial Commissioner for our province. Point in time, Premier, may I request the Premier of the province then to deliver his address on this very important occasion. Premier, the microphones are right in front of you. We are then ready to receive the word from the Premier. Thank you very much.
No, thanks, facilitator of this appointment. I'm not going to deliver a speech, I'm just going to make some few remarks as planned. Acting National Commissioner, Lieutenant General Ane, our outgoing acting PC, Dr. General Muhanazi, incoming, and our new PC, Major General Vice, National and Provincial Staff Management, MEC for Community Safety, Security and Liaison, Mr. Jackie Masia, HOD of the department, Ms. Maziboko, all officials present here, our KNC Union, subs and corporal. We want to thank you for gracing at this occasion. Good afternoon. Right from the beginning, I want to take this opportunity and thank the outgoing Acting PC, Dr. General Mukwanas, for assisting and ringing the ship through difficult storm that the province faced. You took the lead without hesitation and ensure that our police are led. For your courage and commitment, we extend our heartfelt gratitude and wish you every success in your future endeavors. We had our own engagement just recently. If you was some of those that they don't consider their work on their last days, they should have told me where to go, because we're engaging about what is happening around Mkutu. And I think on that day I lost my mood. I indicated to them that usually people should not see the leaders being angry. You can't speak anger in public. But that day we engaged, myself and the hierarchy of our police in the province. But the following day he continued to do his work. Again we fought also with the MEC, but he continued to do his work up until today. I want to thank you for working for the people of Mpumalanga. You were not on our agenda. I don't remember myself discussing you on our exco. That every day there will be on our agenda. We must avoid to find ourselves, even myself. I don't want to find myself in the agenda of cabinet. So you were not on the agenda of our EXCO in the province. I want to thank the relationship that existed between yourself and the MEC. I don't remember the MEC complaining. HOD, you're working very well. We hope that this relationship, this together that we witness amongst yourself will be the togetherness that we're going to witness on the newly appointed commissioner. I wish to extend a warm welcome to our brand new Provincial Commissioner, Major General Modise. I must say you have your work cut out for you, PC, Premier of Free State. I phoned her, I think last week, the Premier of Free State, after getting this news that she was going to be appointed here in the province. I wanted to get the attitude of the Premier of Free State. The Premier of Free State regards her in high regard. She said to me before writing the news that you are leaving Free State to come and work in Mpumalanga, she was so excited just to tell me your strength. And then she concentrated on your strength, that you are a very good, you are an astute investigator. After indicating to her that there is a possibility that you may leave Free State and come and work in Mpumalanga, she was not comfortable. Usually I derive my joy from a situation whereby if I recruit a person to Mpumalanga, the employer or his employer complains, then that's when I derive my joy, because it means that is a very good employee. I wanted to steal one day one official from Limpopo. The Premier of Limpopo said, "Nix, you are not going to leave my province." So I'm happy that the Premier of Free State did not want you to leave your province. It meant that you are a very good employee of our government. Our people need to be heard and seen. We have 3 major problems that need special attention here in the province. 37 people were killed in an area called Mkhulu since the beginning of this year, with a recent killing of 4 people in the same area, 80 this month. Our people live in fear and are slowly losing hope in us as government and our police. We need to see arrest and successful convictions. We must have to pay special attention, Major General. Construction mafias are terrorizing business. Some are forced to close because they cannot afford to pay the so-called protection fees. Kangala region is most affected. There are murder cases in Mpumalanga that were labeled as political killing. We did not have a breakthrough and were suspect. So if we don't make a breakthrough, we continue to be suspect. Councillors were gunned down and the killers are yet to be arrested and prosecuted. Today, as I welcome you to Mpumalanga, I want to give you an assurance, and the people of Mpumalanga, I want to give an assurance to the National Commissioner and the Minister that you will enjoy my unwavering support as the Premier of this province. We share a common commitment to building safer communities, upholding the rule of law, and ensuring that justice prevails. You can count on my support as you execute your constitutional mandate with integrity, professionalism, and courage. I therefore urge you and every member of the South African Police Service to enforce the law without fear or favor. Let no one's status, political affiliation, position of influence, or personal relationship stand in the way of justice, even if the person is said to be my own child or occupies a position of leadership. If they have committed a crime, they must be arrested and allowed to face the full might of the law. You are welcome here in Mpumalanga, the place of the rising sun. You must arrest without fear, even if sometimes you have to arrest close to 20 family members because they belong to the Kalikek family. Arrest without fear. Thanks, National Commission.
Thank you very much, Honorable Premier, for the address that we have just delivered at this media briefing. But more importantly, it is the pledge and the commitment from the provincial government to support the newly appointed Provincial Commissioner in the fight against crime. At this point in time, Premier, allow me to call on the podium the newly appointed Provincial Commissioner just to address the media briefing. The microphones are right in front of her. Lieutenant General Modise, let me hand over to you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Program Director. To the Honorable Premier of Mpumalanga, Babantu, MEC, the Demasie, the National Commissioner General Dimpani, the DNC General Musikidi, all the divisional commissioners present here, the Provincial Commissioner of Free State, and the current Provincial Commissioner who is acting in Mpumalanga, members of the South African Police Services, and members of the media, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. It is with profound humility, gratitude, and unwavering sense of duty that I accept the responsibility of serving as the Provincial Commissioner of South African Police Service in Mpumalanga. I wish to express my sincere appreciation to the Honorable Premier of Mpumalanga for entrusting me with this duty. Thank you very much, Ndadendlu. I'm one of the daughters of South Africa. You have put the trust on one of the daughters of the soil. To say that even the daughters of this country can lead in the provinces like Mpumalanga. And also I'd like to thank my husband and the members of my family for allowing me to get out of state. Premier, I want to assure you to say that I'm going to relocate and I've repositioned myself to come and stay in Mpumalanga up until I retire. I'd like also to thank the Executive Council and our government partners, my mentors, colleagues, and every dedicated member of the South African Police Service whose commitment and sacrifice continue to strengthen this organization. One has to mention, Premier, that Dr. Zed Mukanazi was once my instructor while I was still a young girl, long time ago.
Wow.
He taught me OCT. Yeah. That's why I'm operating like an operational command.
Yes. Yeah. Me too. I can attest to that.
I'm not going to fail them, those that have mentored me. This appointment is not merely a personal achievement. It is a solemn commitment to serve the people of Mpumalanga with integrity, professionalism, accountability, and excellence. As we embark on this journey, I fully embraced the police research agenda and integrated crime and violence prevention strategy, which provides a clear roadmap how we're going to police this country. To the people of Mpumalanga, I make this commitment. Your safety remains our highest priority. We will place a renewed emphasis on strengthening community policing forums as a strategic partners in creating safer communities, working closely with the CPFs, community patrollers, municipalities, traditional leaders, faith-based organizations, the business sector, and the civil society. We will promote shared responsibility for crime prevention, improve community participation, and build a lasting trust between the police and the community we serve. We are committed to empowering community policing forum through meaningful engagement, improved coordination, and active collaboration, ensuring they play a central role in identifying local safety priorities, supporting crime prevention initiatives, and enhancing accountability at police station level. Together, we will foster a culture of partnership, where communities and police work hand in hand to prevent crime and protect the vulnerable and strengthen social cohesion. A safe Mpumalanga can only be achieved when policing becomes a shared responsibility. By strengthening these partnerships and embracing principles of police research agenda, we will build communities that are safer, more resilient, united in the fight against crime. Working closely with Honorable Premier Barandov, the provincial government, municipalities, and all other stakeholders, we will strengthen cooperative governance to ensure that our policing efforts translate into a safer community and improved delivery. As a provincial commissioner, my vision is to cultivate a professional, disciplined, ethical police service that is entrusted by the community it serves, respected by its partners, and feared by those who choose the life of crime. Every decision we make, every operation we undertake, and every partnership we build must contribute to the safer Mpumalanga. Our operational priorities will therefore focus on strengthening intelligence-led policing to combat organized crime, violent crime, illegal firearms, drug trafficking, stock theft, corruption, extortion, the poaching of our wild animals, and other crimes that are threatening the safety of this province. Intensifying the fight against gender-based violence and femicide by strengthening prevention and victim support, investigation, and ensuring offenders are brought to justice. Restoring public confidence through ethical leadership and professionalism. Modernizing policing by strengthening crime intelligence and enhancing investigative capabilities. Embracing technology and improving service delivery at every police station. To every member of SAPS in Mpumalanga, I salute you and your dedication and resilience and the sacrifice we have done. I pledge to lead with fairness, integrity, compassion, and respect. Together we will strengthen discipline, support one another, uphold the Constitution, and continue to serve our communities with honor and pride. The people of Mpumalanga expect more than promise, that they expect results. They expect safer communities, responsive policing, and police service they can trust. Together, we will translate our commitments into measurable action and tangible improvements in lives of our people. I call upon every resident of our beautiful province of Mpumalanga to partner with us. Let us work together to prevent crime, protect the vulnerable, support our police officers and build communities where every person can live, work and raise their families without fear. Together, united in purpose and guided by our constitutional mandate, we will build a safer, stronger and more secure Mpumalanga. The reset agenda begins with me. Saving and protecting with integrity, together for a safer Mpumalanga. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Lieutenant General Modise, for your maiden address to this media briefing and for every word that you have spoken from the heart. Honorable Premier, today is the 31st of July, and the Mpumalanga province is able to deliver a provincial commissioner who is a female on the eve of Women's Month. Wow. Contributing significantly in this agenda that the SAPS announced by the acting Minister of Police in researching policy. And General Modise is joining the women of the SAPS that are leading this research agenda. The month of August, Honorable Premier will unfold with a lot of activities that are in support of that program. So we thank you very much in Mpumalanga province as well as the SAPS for this appointment of the Provincial Commissioner. Premier, it is a media briefing, so we are going to be affording members of the media, if there are any questions, just to pose their questions, and we'll give one round of questions and responses, then we can be able to take other interviews after the media briefing. So if there is any, hence we will then be affording them the space to do so. But in the absence of any questions, then I think it is one media briefing where, from the address of the acting national commissioner, the premier, and the newly appointed provincial commissioner, they were here as part of this media briefing, and I'm sure they captured each and every content that was delivered from this table. And if there are no questions, Honorable Premier, allow me to thank the support from members of the media for always being with us in the work of the SAPS and the work of government to be able to communicate with the communities out there. We are concluding this media briefing, and I would like to thank the Premier, yourself, Honorable Premier, for allowing this media briefing at least to take place in Bethal. Initially, the plan was Nelspruit, but today Bethal is in the headlines. The President was here earlier. Now the appointment of the Provincial Commissioner is happening in the station of Bethal. So we thank you very much, Honorable Premier, Honorable MEC Masia. Thank you very much. HOD, the Acting National Commissioner of the SAPS, Lieutenant General Dimpane, Deputy National Commissioner Modise, PC of Free State, the outgoing acting PC of Mpumalanga, and you were able to take me through the 4 decades, Honorable Premier, in the service of Mpumalanga. So the management of the province, in district and province, organized labor, ladies and gentlemen, we are concluding this media briefing at this point.